Hey guys, how is everybody doing? Um, Again, it's been a while, so I said I better jump on. And also, I wanted to say I'm actually in the luteal phase of my cycle, so scatty brain, a common issue at this time. So bear with me if I do take a second or two. This is probably take five of this post, but I really wanted to jump on because I think it's really important that instead of just being told, stress is bad. Try not to stress. Stress will cause weight gain. Um, Stress will impact your moods. Stress will, yeah, the list goes on. And let's be honest, unless we're living under a rock, we see it posted everywhere about how bad stress is. But it doesn't actually break down why stress is bad. Because I always feel that, well, I'm one of these people that if I understand and if you break it down for me why I shouldn't be doing something, then I can make an informed decision based around my goals on why I should have an action plan to get stress out of my life. So I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to break it down as easily as I can on why stress has such an impact on your hormones, on your weight, and all of those other hormonal issues that we all have something that we have, but there is a way of getting back control. So I'm going to start with stress. So when we are stressed, and that can even be having some caffeine, ladies, any form of stressor that your body will see as stress. So that is any sort of stimulant. It produces a hormone called cortisol, which you may have heard of, and that is one of your stress hormones produced by your adrenals. Now, the problem with cortisol is it competes with our happy hormone that we produce in the second half of our cycle after we ovulate, progesterone. So we have cortisol and we have progesterone. And the problem with these two is they tend to fight it out because when they're released into the bloodstream, they fight for the same receptor site on the cell. Now, unless they can bind to that receptor site, they can't exert their power, let's just say. Progesterone can't exert its fat burning, chilled out action. And cortisol, well, we're going to go into cortisol in a minute, but basically cortisol normally wins, unfortunately. It's like the big bully coming in. So he will bind to the receptor site on the cell, and that's when he can exert his power. Now, the problem with excess cortisol is it actually turns off when it binds. That sends a signal to the brain to produce more stress hormones. So it's like this roller coaster of stress hormones, stress hormones, stress hormones. Now, the problem with stress hormones is it can cause excess estrogen to be produced in the body. And if you've been following my post over the last few weeks, we all know the issues that people have with estrogen dominance. We see estrogen dominance in issues like fibroids, fertility issues, endometriosis, libido issues, acne. And it's not that that we don't need estrogen. We need it. But the problem is when there is that imbalance between progesterone and estrogen. And if there is a constant flow of cortisol into our system from stress, from what we do, what we think, what we eat, what we drink, then it is stopping us from getting that progesterone that we need to balance estrogen out. Because estrogen needs to be detoxified by the liver. Now, if your liver is bombarded with having to deal with excess stress hormones, it's overburdened with bad food, alcohol, and everything else that has an influence, because the liver has to detoxify every single thing that goes into our body, remember. This is just adding to all of those issues that we're already having. So you can forget fat loss. You can say hello to increased belly fat, because that is what cortisol a lot of the times is responsible for. It is responsible for our low moods, low energy, because it is indirectly affecting our progesterone and our estrogen balance. So I'm kind of reflecting back now on what I've said, and I really hope that this is all making sense, because I really want to break it down so that people just don't say, oh yeah, stress is bad and it's influencing my weight. Well, how is it influencing my weight? Maybe now you can take action towards, we're not going to be able to get all the stressors out of our life, but there will be certain stressors that you have control over. And that's what I try and do in my cycle syncing, hormone balancing programs, we have a section on stressors and goals and actions that we can put in, actions and rituals that we can take out, because mindset and stress plays a huge role in our goals, not just mentally, but physically in our body, because it does influence your hormones. And remember, your hormones influence how we think, what we do, what we eat, how we feel. So I really hope that's at least kind of opened up your curiosity about stress and why it is important if your goals are about fat loss, especially belly fat, and any other hormonal issues that you are experiencing. Because remember, we're all individual and we all may suffer from the same issues, but our breadcrumbs may be very, very different. So any questions, please DM, reach out, and yeah, have a great week. Thanks, guys. Bye.